Hello and welcome to the latest video from It's Not Just Graphics. As there has been a lot of talk about upcoming Mario Kart 8, we thought we would take the opportunity to have a look at our favourite cartoon racer. And if you have been following us on Twitter, yep, you've probably guessed it, it is Snowboard Kids on the N64. Snowboard Kids, or Snowboard Kids as it was called in Japan, was developed by a company called Rakdim, I think that's how you pronounce it, and released in Japan on December 1997. It finally made its way to the UK in March 1998. Now, unlike Mario Kart, there are no Grand Prix or Cups to win. The standard battle race mode starts you off with only 6 different courses, and each one of those is its own individual race. Now, when you compare that to the sheer amount of tracks that are available in Mario Kart, it sounds like there's barely any tracks at all. But Rakdim managed to make each of these tracks feel really unique and individual. They're also quite long, so each race lasts up to sort of 7-8 minutes, which is probably a Grand Prix in Mario Kart terms. And each course as well has lots of different varied routes that you can take. I mean, Snowboard Kids could almost be seen as a precursor to the MotorStorm series. Many people don't like Snowboard Kids compared to Mario Kart 64 because of the weapons. Rakdim didn't seem to bother weighing the weapons at all, so it doesn't matter what position you are in the race, you seem to stand an equal opportunity of getting any weapon. To some, this is unfair because if you're stuck at the back of the field, there's not really anything there to help you get back up to the front again. But at the same time, the counter argument to that is if you're really good at the game and you can get right to the front of the track, why should you be penalised with a blue shell for, just being good? Unlike Mario Kart 64, players are able to carry more than one item. There are sort of the offensive items that you can attack with, and then there are defensive items. These are fans which give you a speed boost, rocks which you can throw out and they act like banana skins to trip people up, and there are also these really weird funny little mice which do a little dance above your head, steal the money from your nearest competitor, and then for some reason wiggle their booty thing. Some weapons can be more of a hindrance than a help, so you kind of actually need to learn how to use them and develop a bit of a skill. For instance, the ice shot, if you fire that off, it will turn your opponent into a great big giant popsicle, which is great because it stops them dead. But if you're too close behind them, there is the opportunity for you to fly straight into the back of them, knock yourself out. Some of the weapons on the face of it are quite easy to use, but if you think about it, they can be used more tactically. So, for instance, the parachute shot, that hits people, sends them flying up in the air, and slowly drops them back down again. If you follow behind your opponent for a little while and then shoot them and hit them before they're going over a jump, or if they're right by the side of a really deep drop, you can send them flying up in the air for miles, and it'll be ages before they hit the bottom again, so that will really slow them down. What we also really like about the weapon system in Snowboard Kids is that you need money in order to obtain each item. You can't just run into a box and grab an item like you can in Mario Kart. Each one actually costs you 100 gil. If you don't have any money when you go into the box, you just bump backwards and fall over. You gain money by either picking up gold coins that are littered around tracks or by performing tricks. Any money that you have left at the end of the race is transferred into your bank account and can be used to buy newer boards with different attributes that can be better at tricks, maybe they're faster or easier to control. And you can also, in the shop, customise your boards and give them a different little look. If you do get bored with the racing or the customising of your board, then there are 3 other modes that you can take a look at in the skill game section. One mode will see you racing down a hill with a set time limit, trying to shoot a load of snowmen. This mode is insanely addictive. The next mode is a time attack. There are fans placed around the track, and if you run into the fan, it jumps on the back of your board and gives you a speed boost. So you kind of got to figure out which is the quickest route to take, where are the most fans, and then mix those 2 routes in your mind to get the best time. The third mode is a simple freestyle trick mode. This is on its own custom course. It's on its own great big half pipe. It's really quite short as well, so you need to keep going from side to side, trying to link together as many tricks as possible. The tricks actually in the game are really quite a deep part of it. There are simple hand grabs which can be performed really easily by just pressing one of the C buttons on the right hand side of the pad, or if you hold down A to jump before hitting a jump, you can actually then jump and perform a more complicated 1080 degree trick. And the more complicated the trick, the more money you earn. Snowboard Kids feels to Mario Kart 64 what Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels was to Super Mario Bros. It's like the ideas have been built upon, condensed, and then intensified and made even harder. And while Snowboard Kids' style definitely took something from Mario Kart 64, Double Dash does feel like 1 or 2 influences from Snowboard Kids were carried across, such as the ability to carry 2 items at the same time, and the ability to give characters different carts, changing their stats a little bit and customizing it around how the player wants to play. Just like in Snowboard Kids, you can choose your own different board for the character. Whilst Snowboard Kids is incredibly hard, it really does feel like a rewarding experience. The sense of achievement from unlocking the additional 3 courses and the extra character that you get to unlock a really cool ninja called Shinobin, that's incredible. Because to unlock Shinobin, you have to defeat him on his own course. It's incredibly hard, and the sense of achievement from beating him and adding him to your roster is just a feeling that it actually lacks from a lot of today's titles. You don't quite get that. Sadly, whilst Snowboard Kids rewarded players, it seemed like Ragdim and Atlas, they didn't reward players very much at all. Snowboard Kids 2, sadly, never got a release in Europe. If you want to play a PAL version of that, it was released, it's in Australia. Usually they turn up on eBay for around £200. That's just the cart itself, so good luck trying to find one of those. If you do want to hunt yourself down a copy of that, we'd recommend buying an American N64 and then getting an American version of the game. I don't really want to say emulated, because N64 emulation is a bit pants and tends to make games look really jaggedy. Snowboard Kids 1 did receive an overhaul and was released in Japan under the title Snowboard Kids Plus. We're not sure how we feel about the change in style on this. The characters seem to have been made more like teenagers than kids, and this is a stylistic choice that was carried across to the DS game that was released. I don't know if anyone has heard of this, but SBK, Snowboard Kids, which did find a release in Europe. Unfortunately, anyone who's played it probably wishes it had never seen the light of day. So as a result of all of this negativity from other releases, many people either missed out on Snowboard Kids entirely, or people just have negative associations with it. As a result, there's a lot more people who would blindly say that Mario Kart 64 or Diddy Kong Racing are the best racing games on the N64. Those who actually know what they're talking about, like ourselves, or those sadists who are willing to put in a lot of time to a game that's so brutal it is deemed actually flawed by some, we would actually say that Snowboard Kids is the best racing game on the N64.